without further ado, I want to introduce Kareem Grimes, actor and producer, most recently on All American. You may know him as Preach. He's also a co-founder of an app, which is called Face Pop, right?
Yep.
How you feeling today?
Man, I'm good, man. Just finished a 5 mile run over here at Kennethon Park, and I'm good. Just over here charging my car, man. So I'm feeling good. Tired, but I'm good.
Hey, that's what's up, though. Tired is good, though.
Yeah.
So for the audience just kind of tuning in, and you might come up on this video randomly, what's your story like? Where did you grow up? And
grew up, born and raised Inglewood, California. LA native, and been here pretty much all my life. I lived in Evanston for maybe about a year or two. And then, been here ever since. And, I'm an actor. Been doing it since about 1989, 88, 89. And, still in the game. And, it's been a grind, but it's been a beautiful grind.
Okay.
And, yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah, no, I want to talk about that grind for sure as we get into it. But when you got into acting, was it someone that told you to get into it, or were you just inspired by it? What kind of got you to get into acting?
Yeah, I was inspired, man. As a young kid, I watched a lot of TV, and different shows, and seeing Flip Wilson and Red Fox and Eddie Murphy and Bill Cosby and all these guys, and I was like, yo, this is something I can do. And my mom, who was very supportive, and I had some friends in the business, put me on set, and I was doing extra work at first. Just, I think as any parent, your kids say they want to be on TV. Kids want to do a lot of things, and you get them into it, and then by next week they're ready to do something else. So my mom, got me on a couple of sets, and just always got upgraded. And I just love being on set. And, from that point on, my mom really just knew, like, okay, all right, well, this is what we're going to do. And, got me into acting classes. And, I've been in it ever since, man, just staying busy at it.
Wow. Yeah, no, I got to say that's awesome. Shout out to your mom, because that's an MVP.
Yeah.
Someone like that in your circle that supports you to want to do that, because you know how parents are. A lot of times parents don't want you to do those type of risky careers because they don't know what's going to happen. So that must be something someone like that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. My mom has definitely sacrificed a lot, and even when my father was around, he was always encouraging. My dad was more sports, so I played baseball, basketball, football. So I was always in those three sports, just
right,
year round.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if it wasn't sports, it was definitely acting class. If it wasn't acting class, it was sports. So
okay.
I was as a young kid, I was very active and busy.
Okay. Where'd you go to school?
I went to Paul Revere Junior High School. From there, went to Palisades, played football, left, went to Dorsey High School, and finished up at Dorsey High School, and then went on to Cal State LA.
Okay, how'd you like it at Cal State?
It was good, man. It was. I wanted to go to a HBCU, a historically black college, but at the same time, I wanted to stay here, really pursue my career. So that was one of the sacrifices that I made, is that I just stayed here in Los Angeles. Went to Cal State LA, which was maybe 30 minutes from my house, even though I stayed on campus for the first 3 years.
Yeah.
And, while I was in college, I was still pursuing my career. So, auditions and bookings while in college. So, it was a hustle.
Right. And how was that grind to where it's like going to class, also doing the auditions, and at the same time, like you're trying to make
it was get it done. You know what I mean? It was, I was young and I had the energy, and, it was, this is what I wanted to do. And, for me, it was just by any means necessary, and a lot of long nights and getting up super early, but it was something that I wanted to do. So I think anything or anytime you find something that you love and that you
Mhm.
want to do, you'll put the time and the effort in it and grind it out.
Right. Yeah. They say that passion is a lot like love, where you're just, you're blinded
Exactly.
because you want it. You just want it so bad.
Exactly. Yep.
And when you graduated college, did you go straight into just auditions all the time? Did you have more of that free time?
No, I mean, I was working. I've always had a job, so I was working at a company who we call people to do movie screenings. This is when live people called your house to ask you if you've seen any movies. So I was working there, and auditioning, and once I finished, I had linked back up with John Singleton and started working on Baby Boy with him as his assistant, and then later on being in the movie. So, um, yeah, that like right after college, I want to say, not even a year out, I was working with John Singleton. So that was a blessing.
That is super dope to be able to have a mentor like that in the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he was a mentor. He was a big brother. He was a friend. And he was the one who gave me my start, in Boys in the Hood. And we just been, we became he was like a big brother to me, So I miss him, and forever grateful that he saw something in me and gave me that spark that I needed.
That's amazing. Yeah, I know. And rest in peace. And
Yeah,
then he's always has a
yeah,
place in your heart too while you're working and everything you do. I'm sure he has a place in your heart.
absolutely, absolutely.
So a lot of times, because I have a big college audience that's always looking at doing different things, and I know you see it too, where people are trying so many TikTok and YouTube and everything. Was there ever a point when you were auditioning and acting where you were hesitant or scared, like maybe this isn't for me? Was there that sense of doubt, or you always had that sense of urgency?
No, I think for me, because there were successes along the way, I just knew for me that, God doesn't put you in a position for you to fail.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And because I've had successes through it, I was like, yeah, I'm supposed to be here. You know what I mean? And then the sheer belief in myself of knowing I'm supposed to be here and I belong,
Hmm.
that took me to another level.
Yeah,
Have I've had doubts? Of course, because there's a lot of no's before you get that yes. But at the same time, you have to have you got to have a short-term memory. You go in there, you audition, you leave it in the room. If you get the call back, that's great, and if you book it, that's even better. But the main thing is you want to prepare, go in there, do what you do, put your best foot forward, leave out of that room knowing that I did everything that I could,
right.
and that's it.
And
And
I
you
think
move on to the next.
right. And I think that's important. I love what you said there about the short-term memory. That's a super dope concept because it's hard. I feel
You
like
have to.
when you get that rejection, it is mentally tough. Like you do have, that confidence, but if you have that self-love,
Hmm.
like that's what helps you to keep pushing. And then you got family. You said your mom.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think also too is just one of those things of just like, hey, maybe this isn't for me. This particular thing is not for me. you know, the next thing, or having that thought like, okay, something bigger and better is right around the corner,
Yeah,
you know. And if you truly believe that and put that in the universe and truly know that and truly believe, then that's it's going to be,
right.
and that's what I live by. That's what I live by. Period.
I love that. I love that a lot. And it's just, but look at it. So someone might come up on your series on Netflix, right? They might watch you as Preach in the Netflix series, but a lot of times people don't realize that there's not that instant gratification. I'm sure you went through so many rejections where you didn't get callbacks, right? Like there was a whole process. Can you talk about that where it was like, you got that amazing.
Yeah, there was a TV show that was very popular back then called The Shield with Michael Chiklis on FX.
Yep.
I auditioned for that show 17 times.
Wow.
And within that 17 I booked, but they wrote the character out. So but because evidently I was doing something right, the casting director kept bringing me back. And I wanted to keep going back. And the 17th time,
Yep.
and the 17th time I booked, and I end up doing 3 seasons
Man.
on the Shield. So just think, if I just would have quit and told my representation, they're not gonna hire me. I don't know
Man.
why I keep going in. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have gotten 3 seasons on the show.
Yeah, man,
Saying?
that's powerful to hear that. I mean,
Yeah.
where did that determination come? Because 17 times is a lot of times to go through that process.
Yeah. I think it's just, loving what you do, man, and not, business, like I said, the casting director keeps bringing you back. That means they like you and they want to see you win.
Right.
So that's always a plus. But it can wear on you. It can wear on you. But if you know that they're calling you back, it's just a matter of time for you to book something. That's all.
There's something, yeah.
You just got to keep a positive attitude, and you got to keep delivering each and every time you go in there like it's your first time.
Right.
Period.
Right. And you didn't have that. Seems like you didn't have that instant gratification where you thought that you needed something now. You were okay with waiting. You took those measured steps, and you were okay with waiting, knowing that your time is coming.
Yeah, absolutely. But also too, having a side job that helped. It helped me to not think about it. I had to switch into work mode.
I
You know
feel
what I'm saying, and not deal with that, because as artists, we can let that get to us,
hmm
and we can dwell on it and get depressed and the whole nine. So having that side job helped, because it allowed me to do it, get out of it, and get back into work mode.
Right. And how about, other than the side job, how important is it to have a good circle of people, of supporters?
Man, listen. That's all I surround myself with. If you are not surrounding yourself with people that are positive, that are speaking into your life, by default, they're taken away. So you got to remove that.
Right.
Any negativity, anything. I don't allow that in my circle at all. And I'm very cautious of who I give my energy to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's so important. You have to surround yourself with people who believe in you and believe in your dreams more than you can. You know what I'm saying? And they're willing to push and, let you know when you're out of pocket.
Right.
Period.
They keep it 100 with you, just the whole process.
Exactly. If you're not, I'm just saying, like, you got to surround yourself with people who believe in you. Period. That's
Right.
Bottom line.
Right.
Bottom line.
Right. And because it's crazy, even for me, when I said I was going to lose that first 100 pounds, when you speak stuff into existence, because I'm big on that law of attraction, and you speak stuff into existence, but you won't believe the amount of people. I mean, you believe it, that will just doubt it. That's their first reaction. It's no, you can't, or you can't do that.
Or why? Why do you want to do that? Those are the people you need to, sometimes you just can't tell your dreams and aspirations to people,
Right.
Because they won't believe it, or they'll try to deter you. So sometimes you just got to go for it and then let them see the results.
Right. 100%. I agree with that. And to segue into the next question, how did you get to All American? What was the process with that?
Just audition, man. You, as an actor, you get that call, that email that there's a role. I was already a fan of the show. I watched it because I connected with it. And I went in for it, felt good. And the casting director I've worked with before, she's casting me for some other stuff. So there was already I was already comfortable. She knew what I can do. Came in there and did it. That character was only supposed to be for 2 episodes.
Wow.
And here we are 11 episodes later. So it's a blessing, man. And it just goes to, as an actor, you get an opportunity, you want to make an impact, period. And once you make that impact, it gives the writer something to write for, and here we have Preach.
Yeah, and I think that's a testament to your work ethic. The fact that just your whole life you lived with that, you handled
Yeah.
rejection, and look at you now. Now I'm sure you're coming back for next season as well. So it's
Oh,
super cool.
absolutely. 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 So yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to season 3. And we due to COVID, we pushed production back, but we're gonna give you guys a fire third season, that's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yes, sir. I know everybody's waiting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then on that concept of COVID, a lot of people waiting for stimulus checks, the economy, the recession, everything that happened. How did you deal with COVID in the situation of staying positive? Because I know it affected every industry in some way.
Yeah. Well, I think the silver lining is that it allowed people to discover the show. A lot of people watch the show. I've amassed a lot of followers and just a lot of fans.
Hmm.
So that's always been that's a blessing. So I've taken this time to just really connect with them, thank them personally, as many as I can, and through it, my a friend of mine, we branded some T-shirts, Free Preach T-shirts, before the whole COVID. So once it did come, we started selling T-shirts, and we got on and said, hey, the first 50 order, I'll sign it and number it personally. So we've been selling T-shirts and doing cameos and just I always look at the positive in it. What can I learn from this, and what can make me better out of this. I've been working out every day. It's allowed me to double my workouts
Yeah.
for mental and physical reasons, and organize and just work on things that that I had put off before. So
Yeah.
I've organized everything.
Yeah. You got everything organized.
Exactly.
I think that's important that you say that, because sometimes, life hits you. It's going to hit you. It's going to hit me. It's going to hit all of us at some point. But instead of just sitting
Yeah.
there, just taking it, you got to be a warrior. You got to bounce back in any situation. So I love that
Exactly.
you found multiple
Exactly.
different ways of income. You have the
Yeah.
t-shirt. And so for people watching this, where can they go get the t-shirts? Are you still selling them?
Yeah. So you can go to Black BH, BLACKBH.com. That's BlackBeverlyHills.com. And look it up at Free Preach T-shirts. Put your order in, and we're giving out T-shirts and Free Preach stickers. So there you have it.
That's awesome.
Indeed.
Yes, sir. And to segue, what's been the funnest role you've done in your career?
Man, fun. What I think it was probably a role I did on this show called Bones. No, I'm sorry, SWAT.
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 Okay.
My character, Little Red. He's a reoccurring character. He kind of brings the comedy to that show, but that's always fun.
Yeah.
Always fun. So yeah, that's definitely probably one of my fun roles.
Right. What's been the toughest role for you to film on the other side?
Probably challenging is I did an episode of Bones where I played a young man who was from Sierra Leone, who was an RUF soldier, child soldier, who was an amputee. So that was dialect, and knowing the history of these kids who were forced to be soldiers. So doing the research and knowing the stories on that, that was tough.
Right.
That was tough, but it was challenging, and I loved it. It was probably one of my proudest, pieces of work.
That's a tough story to do, but that's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so when you look at your career, producer, actor, you've done a lot of roles. You're coming back. The All American series is just taking off worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
When do you hit the point where you're like, you know what, I'm successful, I kind of want to retire? Or is there a point where you just want to keep going? Like, do you have anything in mind?
Yeah, man. My mentality is hustle and grind like I'm broke. You know what I'm saying? So I'm never comfortable, never satisfied. This is something that I love to do. So I plan on doing it until I'm done, until I can do it.
Right.
So yeah, my goal is just to keep on doing it, television and film, and then definitely on the creative side, and definitely directing. um so those are my goals.
Right. And then hustle like you're broke. I love that concept because you look at a lot of Generation Z and millennials. They get out of school, they might make 100K, right? But then the first thing they do is they go buy a car instead of, because people want to look good on the gram, but people aren't hustling for that
Yeah,
income and long-term goal. They're not investing their money. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's important, man. You know what I'm saying? If you want longevity, you gotta keep grinding. You can't get comfortable. You always gotta be uncomfortable.
Right. Right.
And that's what I believe in. You can't, if you're too comfortable, you know,
Right.
I believe you'll fall off.
Right.
You got to stay uncomfortable. You got to stay challenging yourself, which is important.
100%. 100%. And on that concept of getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, you're also a co-founder on an app, correct?
Yeah, yeah. So I have an app that's in the Apple App Store. It's called Face Pop.
Okay.
It's three founders, myself, just a good friend of mine, Michael Chiklis, and Jerome Henry. We came up with the concept way before Animoji and Memoji. This is something that hasn't been done. Our app is not an avatar. It's not it's not a cartoon. It's your actual face. You can record your actual face. Our IP allows the phone, you can record and avoid the background. So it looks like a floating head.
That is
And
dope.
you can do 7 seconds, and you can send it in a text right then and there. If somebody is, talking trash or want to borrow money or say, I love you or Happy Memorial Day, you can say that and send it off in the text. And it's, something cool, and, we bet on ourselves. We raised money, bet on ourselves, got into the Apple Store, and here we are a year later. Still moving and grooving, and right now we're in the second phase of raising funds so we can get it into Android.
Right. So you said the second phase to raise funds for another app store, or you mean the Android store?
No, yeah, just to get it in the Android store now.
Okay.
Because it's two different. It's apples and oranges when you're dealing with iOS and Android. So,
Yes, sir.
but it's free in the Apple Store. It's Face Pop, FACEPOP, all one word, and it's it's 7 seconds, and you can say whatever you want, get it off your chest, and send it to your family or friends or loved ones.
Right. That's awesome. Go download that app. That sounds super cool. I'm gonna download it.
Indeed.
And
Appreciate that.
it'll be on the Android store soon as well.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal. We're trying to raise money now, so so we can get it into the Android to service the Android users.
Okay, that's awesome. And do you have other plans to dive yourself into different business ventures like real estate long term? I mean, are you looking at different things as well?
I'm in the stocks right now, so I've been dibbling and dabbling into stocks. So I've invested in a few companies. So that's where I'm at with it right now. Real estate, yeah, I have a house, so I'm looking to actually rebuild that house, and then all goes well with television, I'll be able to purchase another piece of property. So
Yes, sir.
that's all.
God willing. Hopefully
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
I love that you said the stock market too. I took a lot of big hits in March. So
Yeah. I kind of got in, and everything was low. I was like, all right, let me buy low right now and just hold. So I'm
you
just
got it at a
holding
good
right
time.
now.
No, that's good.
Exactly. Yeah.
So into the kind of the conclusion for people just graduating college, whatever their dreams are, whether it's they want to start a business or they, they're like, man, I'm inspired because I know people got inspired even by your character. I want to get into acting like how Preach was.
Yeah.
What's your advice to people that want to get started in whatever passion they have aside from corporate America that they're passionate?
Yeah. I think, once you find what you're passionate about, once you find that thing, put that time and energy in there. I always look at it. There's a quote, deposit into it as much as you can. Deposit into your career, deposit into whatever you want to do, so your return can be great. You know, and what you put in is what you get out. Period.
Right.
You know, so go for it. You're young. You know, everything is at the fingertips. If you want to know how to do something, Google it, YouTube it. You know, and go after it. You know, and go after it with 110%, knowing that you put 110% in it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all you can do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can only control what you can control. Period.
Right. I love that.
Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Control what you can control. You know, the faith is huge. Having faith, believing that, you know, we're here for a reason.
Absolutely. You gotta have faith, man. You gotta believe it, man. You gotta believe it so much that when you tell people, they look at you crazy.
Right. 100% though. It's
You
real
know what I'm saying? Yeah, for real. So that would be my, you know, that would be my jewelry to the youth is, you know, go after it. Don't be afraid. Dream big until it makes you uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
once you do that, go after it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. I know a lot of kids, young cats want to hear that too. Just, you know, that's inspiration for them. So thank you for inspiring in that regard.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's a grind. It's a hustle. And, you know, there's going to be some bumps in the road, but it's how well you can get over those humps, you know, and maintain. You know, it ain't going to be easy, you know, because if it was easy, everybody be doing it.
Right.
You know, but as long as you can maintain and you know, get through those obstacles, you'll be all right.
Right.
You'll be all right.
And I think the fact that you're saying that, it's important to note that, okay, you guys got all these millions of people watching All American, right? You could have easily had that gratification and got comfortable with yourself. But instead of that, you started going even 10 times harder, right? You're in the gym, you're working on the t-shirt, the app. You're not getting comfortable there because you want to keep progressing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Indeed. That's the name of the game, man. You know, you are your brand. So, you know, you have to be able to improve on that.
Right. Okay, and my final question: what's your favorite book or movie or both?
The Secret. Malcolm Gladwell's The Tipping Point, and then favorite movie, I love Ocean's 11, 12. I love those.
Why do you love those? They're awesome movies,
It's just a team effort of just getting shit done. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody plays their position, everybody has a role, they come together and get it done. You know what I'm saying? 100%. And they do it in a great fashion, you know? So I love it.
Yeah, I'm about to go watch that today now that you brought it up.
Yes, I love it, dude. The Ocean series is amazing.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
And then for anyone stumbling upon this, where can they find you on social media?
Yeah, Kareem Grimes, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok is Kareem_Grimes, and on Facebook, you know, so everything is Kareem Grimes across the board.
TikTok too?
Yep. Got on TikTok. I'm 2-3 weeks in TikTok. I'm at about 115,000 followers, which is crazy, but grateful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's fun. I'm still learning, but it's fun. It's fun.
TikTok is the wave. It's like people are building their businesses on there because you can get so many followers on TikTok pretty quick too.
Exactly. Indeed.
Any message for the fans about Preach, for what's going to happen in the future? Any message that you can give?
Yeah, just, you know, stick and stay. You know, hopefully season 3 Preach is free.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully. So, you know, I think something's gonna happen. I don't know what, but I think Preach is gonna get out. Preach is gonna get out.
He's the big brother too. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Indeed. Absolutely.
Well, Kareem, I want to thank you so much for taking the time, man. That means a lot.
Absolutely, brother. My pleasure, man. Thank you for having me.
My brother, people will appreciate that, and you know, stay grinding. We're watching you.
My man, I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
God bless you. Happy Memorial Day.
You too, man. God bless you.
My man, take care. Later.
Yes, sir.